How's that for quickness, gang? We are back with Spider News. I just heard a beep in my ear. Let me see who this is. There is the last message. There's Kelly. What's up?
Hey.
And I just sent it to Peter, JR, Ashley, and that's it. Let me see what this looks like.
Yes.
Can I move you over here? Oh, that's kind of cool.
Oh, wow.
That's neat. I haven't done that before. What does that one look like? Huh. Cool.
It might do more later. Oh, now I'm on this side.
There. What? Here. That was fun. That was fun.
Yeah.
You explained the dog story very well. I don't know. Maybe because I read it fast, but what in the hell was that story? And I loved that you loved it too. You owned it. I loved it.
I think a large part of it sold me was the art.
Yeah. Hey, Ashley.
Hey.
Yeah.
We were just talking about, I loved how Kelly owned that crazy ass dog story. I'm like,
God, I was not prepared. I was so underestimating the crazy dog story because I saw y'all talking about it and I read it and I'm like, this is my favorite thing ever.
Really? I love both of you love that, but I hate it.
I love weird shit.
Well, it's too. I mean, we both also like GOG, so it's just more.
That's true.
Just there's a cute character, but
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with you guys on why y'all think that because it's just it's zany, it's crazy, and then two, honestly, the backup stories weren't worth the price of the book.
They were not. No.
And that's the main issue.
So, Flo, what's up, man?
Hey guys.
Yes.
If that story hadn't been in the issue, when else would I have seen it? I might not have seen it, and it would not be a part of my life.
Okay.
And that's a possibility too. Yeah.
Jared said you have an amazing setup with your flashing lights. Yeah.
Thank you. Hold on. Got my.
Oh, here you go.
I need to put back up the spooky stuff, but.
Oh, hey, what's that next to Goblin behind you? I never noticed that. What
Which one?
Is that Spider Girl?
Yeah, I got her made.
See that?
I got her
made.
She's
homemade. Oh, she's adorable.
So.
Oh, I love that.
Got my hair.
Are those button eyes?
Yes, button eyes.
Oh God. No,
I know. Coraline.
Yeah. That's cute.
I mean, look, they don't make Spider-Girl stuff. That's kind of probably one of the reasons why they market Spider-Gwen so crazy. So, it's...
Hey, Venkman.
You have to make your own. I mean, I've got Norman over here. I've realized I got to shave his forehead, and then I think I can paint his chin, and then I think he can be Normie.
Oh, yeah. You got to put that scar on his chest, though. Nice. Oh, no, well, he's wearing a shirt. You can't do that.
Yeah, he's wearing a shirt.
Yeah. Venkman says hello. What's up? Jonathan says GOG is greater than Wizard Dog any day. I would. Well,
okay,
I guess fair. I do like GOG better.
They don't have to compete with one another.
That's
it's
true.
Not a competition.
That's true. Nintendo handheld took me a while to find this video here. YouTube doesn't show current live stream sequels to a live stream that just ended for me. Well, I think if you subscribe and you hit the bell, I think on YouTube, that will give you a notification. So that will probably
got to hit the bell. Yeah. So for YouTube now, if you don't hit the bell, you probably won't find anything anyway, even if you're subscribed. Welcome to YouTube.
Josh, long time no see, Crawlspace. Yeah, we were just talking about crazy ass dogs and strawberries, weren't we?
Yeah.
Same deal. Took a while to find it. Hi, Shy Town. That backup story reaction is still written on your face.
Yeah.
I got the notification because I hit the bell. There you go, Jonathan.
Yeah.
Hey, JR, what's up?
Hey.
Hey.
So this may just have been something I missed, but I've been wondering why Zach hasn't been on the podcast. So he has his own show. Go spidey-dude.com. You can find that. What Brad said. Awesome. And commercial break is over. Yes. I'm subscribed and did hit the bell. Still had to check the channel. Oh, that's weird, Nintendo. Thank you, Nintendo. I mean, thank you, YouTube. Don't thank you, Nintendo, but thank you also, YouTube. Now all the comments are, I hit the bell, damn it. I don't know. Just hit refresh on the page. I guess that might get it. Hello, WebPit Guiders. Oh, that's pretty good. I like that.
All right.
Let me put my notes up. Who's leading off with this? Peter, you are with the gameplay trailer. Okay, let me pull this up. And I can share my screen. Well, we were just bad-mouthing YouTube, and now it's not playing on mine.
Oh, no.
It knew I was talking about it. That's what's up.
Uh-oh.
Oh, there you go. There is. All right, load PS4 demo. Okay. Okay, there she goes. All right. Pause. Share screen. Chrome tab. There we are. Okay, if I full screen it, what does that look like? Yeah, that's much better. Okay, let me move this. There we go. All right. Everybody ready?
Yeah.
Okay, coming down in 3, 2. Hey, Crawlspacers, welcome to our new show. Let's introduce the panel. We have Kelly. Happy birthday, belated Kelly. We did that on the last show. We're continuing it on this show.
Yeah.
Should we sing again?
No. We're good. The
Thank
internet
you.
can't
Dogs
handle
were
two.
howling when we were singing.
Did you get any cool spider swag for your birthday?
I did.
Anything cool? Like what?
I don't know if I should say anything about it because I don't know if I should talk about it. But I got something very, very sweet from one of our good friends, Mr. Ron Friends, and
Ron
Spider Girl
Friends
Crew. So I need to ask if it's okay to post it publicly, so everyone can see it. Because I right now I'm kind of holding on to it because I really am speechless and have no words for it, and I'm beside myself.
Ron Friends sent you a birthday gift? Is that what I'm hearing?
Well,
Wow.
a drawing from the Spider Girl team.
Wow. When I asked for a swag, I didn't expect that. That's really cool.
Yeah, I'm
That's
still
really
beside
cool.
myself. I still don't feel like
That's
it's like
cool.
real.
Yeah.
So
What I'm hearing is that this is kind of sort of off the record for now.
yes,
Yeah.
because I don't want to like go bragging about it.
That's cool, though.
It
Yeah.
means a lot to me. So
Yeah. So, Ashley, what did Felicia Hardy bring you?
Just my heart.
Your heart. Oh,
Yeah. She
that's
doesn't
funny.
need to give me anything.
There you
She's
go.
enough.
JR, what did Norman give you?
Couple of pumpkins.
Relative to what?
I don't know. We're just going around introducing people.
Oh,
And Chi-Town, what did Mary Jane give you? Besides a divorce. No.
oh,
I forgot about that. Look
Oh.
at that. Look at that commission
Selfie.
by Carlos Gomez. That is a great looking commission. That is so cool.
really is.
Nice.
That's what I got.
That's what you got. I love that. Yeah. Adam off the top says we need a GOG versus Wizard Dog series. No, we
Why do we have
don't.
to fight?
We don't need that. Anthony says happy birthday, Kelly. Very
Thank you.
nice. Let's see. We are going to start with Peter talking about the PS5 Spider-Man game that is with Miles Morales. You talk over this and I'll play the video. We've got gameplay footage of the new game coming to PS5. Let's talk about it.
Okay, you gonna turn down the volume? Or
Yeah.
do one?
Oh, I don't think I hit volume, so you can just talk over it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Insomniac has given us a gameplay footage of what the new Spider-Man Miles Morales game will look like, and shows Miles going into the window, doing the usual gameplay. It is taking 1 year after the events of PS4 Amazing Spider-Man.
Right.
So Miles, and I guess Genki is now part of his roommate and does know
Yeah, there's
that
Genki right
Miles is Spider-Man, and his mother is running for election to be mayor.
Oh.
So that's something of a little tidbit to look forward to.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest of the footage shows Miles dressed up as Spider-Man, going on a bridge to save a bunch of people, and the villain happens to be
fast forward a little
Tinker.
bit. Oh yeah, the Tinker, but she's got is it a girl Tinker?
It's a woman. Yeah, it's a woman Tinker, and
And she's
there's a
got
lot
a
of
purple
chaos on the
costume.
bridge. And I kind of like how Miles is acting as a true hero. His number one concern is people's safety, telling the guys to back off. And when the fight breaks off, there's a lot of cool moves using his Venom Blast. Are they called Venom Blast? I don't know.
Is that Tinker that just hit him right there in that scene? Okay, that's Tinker.
That's
okay, that's
Tinker
different
right
look.
there. She's, I don't know what the hood is, but they're
This
there.
still looks like cutscenes. It doesn't look like actual gameplay yet.
Yeah, it's cut swings, and there's when Spider-Man fought the Kingpin in the first game. That's kind of what you're going to be doing right here.
Okay, I envision this like the very first bit of the game, if I had to guess.
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah.
And during this entire footage, you got Miles using his Venom Blast, taking care of some of the goons that are around him, but most likely protecting people. And when you're playing this game, you are going to be focused on using your controls to keep people safe more than fighting, which is actually a nice pace for a Spider-Man.
Here's gameplay. Here's gameplay. We're seeing a little bit of gameplay right now. What do you think of this? Does it look good, Pete? Do you want to buy a PlayStation 5 and play this?
Well, the good news is that this game is also available on PlayStation 4.
That's true.
Yes, you'll get exclusives with a PlayStation 5, but you'll be able to play this game on PlayStation 4. A lot of people have been asking that, is this a sequel to the Spider-Man game? No, it is not. It is a spin-off. This happens 1 year after the events of Spider-Man PS4, and you get to play this on PS4 or PS5.
Yeah.
But it does look like a cool game to play if you're Miles. And Miles is now living in Harlem. So maybe we'll see Luke Cage. You never know.
Oh, there you go. Rest of your thoughts. I know Kelly's a gamer, Ashley's a gamer, JR, his son is a gamer. Ashley and Kelly, what do you think of this? What do you think?
I'm excited to get back into the Spider-Man game. It was a great game. It was a lot of fun. I'm excited to see what more they're doing with it, what more they're bringing to the table. So let's do it. Bring it on.
I was super excited about this, but the whole changing Peter's face kind of killed it for me. Just because I think even when it's on PS4, it's still going to be the new face, and that just bugs me because the new face looks like he's 14. I think it's going to take me out of the story a little bit, but it looks like a great game otherwise. So I'm kind of sad that that's what happened.
Yeah. Does that happen for the
We'll get to that.
Kelly?
Huh?
I think it's just the remastered that on the PS5 they're changing his face.
Yeah, but if he's in this game, like if he's in this game unmasked, it's gonna be his new face.
They have a new face actor for him. So
yeah,
that's true. Has anybody tried to buy a PS5? I tried.
We got one coming.
Oh, you got one in?
Nice.
Yep. We got the bundle. Jack managed to snag one of the special GameStop pre-orders they were doing after the initial pre-order, and so we got the collection that comes with, I think, the Demon Souls remastered and the Miles Morales game.
I tried to order it on Best Buy, and it wouldn't let me put in credit card information. It kept looping and looping and looping, and it's still in my cart, and it still says it's out of stock. So I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get this. However, here's a Crawlspace exclusive. When I get a PlayStation 5, I pre-ordered this game before I have the console, before I have a PS5. So I have this game pre-ordered. When I get it, I'll stream it. Like I did 2 years ago when I streamed, but I'm going to buy a camera so you can see my weird, confused face as I web sling. You couldn't see that last time. So I'll try to get the camera set up in the living room, and you guys can watch me cuss and be a 45-year-old guy trying to web sling. Through how old's Miles? 16 years old or 17? That's kind of fun. JR, what do you think of this gameplay? What do you think?
I don't care.
You know?
Did
you play the PS4, JR? I know Spencer did.
No, I don't play those games. I'm still trying to beat Super Mario on the original Nintendo
from 1985.
So are we doing a Patreon exclusive of JR trying to figure out the web swinging?
Ooh, that would be fun. By the way, Fear of the Beans is excited. You want to watch me play it? That's fun. Yeah, Fear of the Beans. I'll do it. That'll be fun. So Ashley, Kelly, did you pre-order it, or are you gonna get a PS5?
I was gonna wait because normally around November, around Black Friday, they'll probably have some more in stock, like more pre-orders in stock. It's just kind of how they do it. So I was looking at maybe trying then, but at the same time, after the face stuff, if I get it, it'll be for PS4, and that's I'm just kind of like I'll probably download it, not really buy the physical copy. And do it that way. So I'm not really too worried about it.
That's a good question. Are you guys going to buy the discless PS5 or the one that you put physical media in? That's a good question.
I think we've got the one that you put physical media into, because I'm never going to let I'm never going to go digital exclusive. I'm like, I need to hold a copy of something in my hands. I do that with books, with music.
Yeah. Kelly, you too? You like the disc?
Normally, it's just like I said, the whole thing that Sony's trying to pull right now just kind of bums me out.
We're going to talk about the face thing, and we'll hit that. That Kelly seems ticked about that face. We'll get to the face.
I am.
We'll get the.
Really?
Well, let's just go to the face. Let me stop Miles over here. Let me remove this, and I will pull up a video that compares the face. I think that's Ashley's topic. So let me copy this.
So
that's a good one, Devil Breaker.
Spider-Man Miles Morales will be available on November 12th for PS4 and for PS5. There will be 2 versions. If you get the I think it's the Ultimate Edition, that will come with the PS5 Spider-Man exclusive with the remastered along with that game.
Devil Breaker, you watched me play PS4 Spidey when I first got it. I didn't die on the first try. Okay. That's good, yeah.
Pretty good.
But the Kingpin's guys killed me pretty quick. That was all right. Peter's face. Ashley, tell me what's going on.
Okay. So out of respect for Kelly, I won't be as condescending about this as I was.
No, go ahead, do it.
Oh no,
I can take it. It'll be fine.
This is probably one of the pettiest things I've seen gamers complaining about this year, in a year where there have been many petty complaints by gamers. And I'm probably getting more emotional about this one because it escalated to death threats, and I'm like, really?
Yeah, that part is inappropriate, yes.
But there's so many people acting like it's just something that Insomniac decided to do for the heck of it, or that they're trying to lick the MCU's boot because there are some more similarities between this new face actor and Tom Holland. Which I do think is funny because I feel like the old one reminded me more of Andrew Garfield, and this one does look a bit more like Tom Holland. But it really kind of falls into the category of gamers complaining about things without understanding how games get made, and some of the technical things that have to happen behind the scenes that the developers and designers actually have to work with. Because the reasoning behind changing the face actor is because, to my understanding, with the graphical capabilities of the PlayStation 5, it has the fidelity to the lip syncing is so high that the old face actor wasn't properly syncing with Yuri's lip movements. So they had to go and find a face actor whose face more closely resembled Yuri's, so that it would translate properly and that they wouldn't have any weird things going on with the lip syncing. So it's not like they're recasting him. Like, there's an actual design purpose behind this. There's an actual practical reason. And if you look at pictures of Yuri, he does kind of have a bit of a baby face at some angles. So I understand that he looks a little aged down, but in order to actually take full advantage of what the PlayStation 5 can offer, they have to make some changes, and it's not always going to be exactly what we want. We can't have the cake and eat it too. So it's like, you can't have same old Peter Parker and then also all the demands of this new technology.
Yeah.
It's just that the face looks like a dramatic change compared to the rest of the game that is changing.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I don't know what the story is with all the other voice actors versus their face actors, but people are acting like Insomniac is doing this to personally offend them or out of some, I don't know.
Okay,
It's so minor. It's like, I understand.
I don't see. My thing is, I don't think this is minor. This is a huge change because the look of him changes your attitude towards the character. When you see him as a 24-year-old and you believe he's 24 or 25, like right here, it's easier to get into that mind frame versus, I'm sorry, this looks like, to quote someone on Instagram, Diet Tom Holland.
Yeah.
And this is my thing. And I get what you're saying, and I do agree. If they needed to change it because it wasn't syncing up right, why not use Yuri's face? Why pick someone so young? And then 2, they know what's coming across like that, and they have the technology that they could have made him at least look like he's 24. And instead, they're trying to make sure that he matches up, which I understand. Yeah, Tom Holland is like 24, 25, like 23, 24 now, but he looks young. And so they've made sure that he looks young. And so now, to me, though, he's going to look even more related to Mary Jane, which was my main concern in PS4, because they already looked similar because their faces move similarly, that now this guy looks like he's actually related to that MJ. And so it's going to get gross. Personally, and that's my thing on it.
So there's a change on Peter, but there's no other change on the rest of the characters in the game. Were they having the same issues as the face, the guy that was doing the motion capture for Spider-Man? And if that's the case, why not just use the same guy to just do it all over again? Because that's what they just did for this.
It's just there's when a lot of these complaints start going around, there's so little understanding of the actual development that goes into it that I don't really like going off my own experiences and what I personally think in my bubble. It's like you got to understand there are a lot of constraints and limitations that the designers and developers have to work under. So yeah, they probably there are some valid concerns about what that can mean for the character and how people understand that. But I don't think that unfortunately can't be one of their priorities when they're having to remaster an entire game. There's a lot of stuff to work through, and maybe they don't have the budget and the time to do everything perfectly. There's a lot of pressure on them from a lot of different angles.
By the way, I want to thank Saiku.
It's just
Saiku1, who did a great, which is the video we're looking at right now. They did a great job comparing what the two look like. Peter was a little bit shocked when I said I like the new face better. I think that was one thing I felt when I played the PS4 game. I didn't really like the face of Peter Parker on it as much as I do this face. I don't know why I like this face better. I think I'm in the minority with Ashley because I think the vocal outrage online has been very loud. But I like that face better. I think it looks more Peter Parker-y. But I do agree with bits of what Kelly said. Mary Jane now looks really old.
Yeah.
Compared to that face.
I mean, when you're going to see those two kiss at the end, it's just going to look really awkward.
Yeah.
I think when people are going to actually be playing the game, it's the kind of thing where it throws you off and it puts you in that area of uncanny valley and the unfamiliar when you see it first side by side. But when you're actually playing the game, you start getting used to it and it becomes familiar. That's really going to fade away for a lot of people. Yeah. It's such a big deal right now because they're only seeing these side-by-side comparisons. They haven't really had the chance to let it become familiar the way it's like. When you spend 40 hours with this, it's just going to fall to the wayside.
If you didn't know what Mary Jane looked like in the other characters and you had to pick between the two Peter faces, which one would you like? Do you like this older look or do you like the younger one now? Is it still the same opinion?
I like the older.
Really?
Yeah.
I like the younger.
I'm just so indifferent.
Really?
And the thing too, it's not like there's a set face for Peter Parker. Peter Parker doesn't have only one face. He has been played by so many different actors.
Yeah.
He has been drawn by so many different artists. This is just another variation. So why does this Peter Parker always have to look the same? Like obviously the universe, but things change, and we don't always have control over that. And so what do we prefer? A game that plays well or the face stays the same all the time and it's buggy as hell because the developers' priorities were geared towards what gamers want to see versus, the actual product they have to put out.
I mean, like I understand, what you're saying and your reasoning, and I don't feel like the death threats or like, going, oh, woe is me, I'll never play this again. Sony sucks, blah, blah, blah. I don't agree with that because I do get it. It's just they could have found somebody that at least looked either similar to the first face shape, but could do something, with their mouth a little bit different or something closer to.
I don't think it's so much as as a matter of ability. it's literally they need the face shape to match more closely.
But it's the fact that like the age regression is so severe to me that it does take me out. And I get, you're saying, oh, it's Uncanny Valley, but it's like, because I already played this, I don't know if I could play this again with the new face, because it would take me out of the story for the fact that like it doesn't feel right to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I know, like, that's my personal opinion. That's what's like, I'm not sitting here saying, oh, how dare they, like, blah. But, like, I get it from that standpoint, because I'm used, like, that's that world, and I totally get it. Like, things change. But if this like had just been like, oh, hey, an FYI in this, and then maybe they tried to remaster it as best as possible with that old face, and just said, hey, in Miles, if you see him, he'll have this new face. We have a new face actor. It would have felt a little bit different, because this almost feels like they're kind of overhauling it for a purpose, which I think is why everyone's gearing up on like, well, it looks like Tom Holland, so they must be doing it because Marvel Studios said so, and that's probably not true, but and it honestly could be true. Who knows?
Ashley, you talked about the death threats. I've also got them up here. Well, are they not going to pull up? Oh, it's going to take me to my Twitter. Okay, hold on a second.
Yeah. So
talk a bit about that death threats.
Classic baby gamer fashion.
Oh, there it is, right there.
There is thing we don't like. We have to go and make death threats to the people who are involved. So Brian,
who I interviewed, he's a good dude.
Yeah, creative director at Insomniac, has this kind of total transparency. Is like, yeah, don't send. They've been getting these threatening notes saying, we'll hunt you down and find you. Fix this now. So okay, let's have a little come to Jesus here. Mm-hmm. If you feel the urge to send a death threat to someone based on something in a video game you don't like, or anything at all, really, wipe the Cheeto dust off your fingers. Change your undies, get a shower, and go outside, because what the hell are you doing with yourself?
Yes.
It's completely unacceptable. And like I said, I already found this issue really petty to begin with. And so that people are taking it to such lengths is, I mean, I'm really not surprised by the levels that some gamers stoop to this year. So I'm not surprised that they're getting death threats about this, but it's just like, really?
Right. And JR, you and I have been through the Slot era, and we both are not big fans of Slot, but he doesn't deserve death threats. This happened when he killed Peter Parker. I don't get this invisible bully behind your keyboard.
It's entitlement as well.
That's a real threat. Bodily harm to someone, that is a legit threat. I just lost Kelly. But I don't get why people do that. I just don't understand.
Keyboard courage, they used to call it.
Keyboard courage, yes.
It's not even keyboard. People would do that before the internet with letters, and they don't need a keyboard to do it. It's
we're talking
it's so instantaneous now that it happens and everybody sees it. And I mean, that's it's always gone on in some form or another. Some people are just bonkers.
And honestly, maybe that's a good thing that we can have more transparency about it, so people can have more of a voice about it, call people out, and be like, and there can actually be consequences.
Back in the early day, back in my day, back in the message board days, you used to have a handle and you couldn't tie it to who you actually were. These days, in the comment section, people are very happy with the picture of their face and their name right next to the comments of what they said. They don't care anymore. A lot of them don't.
Yes and no, because they do care when people then dox them or tell their employers.
Exactly.
Which the thing is, if they've got their actual face on there and they've got their actual name and their actual employer, and they're saying something that is inappropriate, like to me, like death threats, then they should get some kind of
stupid prizes.
Exactly. I have on Instagram, I have somebody that literally has no reason in my comments whatsoever to consistently threaten Casada.
Yeah.
With death threats, and then
I don't get it.
And then to say like they want a full Ragnarok on all of Marvel Comics because they're unhappy, and it's like, that's cool, dude, but why put that in my comment section?
I don't get it. I just don't understand why people And there are consequences. Freedom of speech, but there's consequences of speech.
Yep. Freedom of speech means freedom from consequences. Also, freedom of speech means you can't be arrested for what you say. It doesn't mean you can say whatever the hell you want. So read the Constitution.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I had. Here we go. Peter, we're going to talk about one more thing about the. Well, we got two more things about the game. Okay. Let me pull it up. If you pre-order the game, so I guess I'm going to get this. You're going to get a tracksuit.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
You're getting the tracksuit costume. Here it is. There it is.
Oh, I got really excited. I thought like an actual tracksuit that you could wear. You know, like a Spider-Man tracksuit, like a jogger suit.
I want that.
This is like the WEB of Spider-Man, the web of Spider-Man. So this is T.R. tracksuit. So tell me about this, Peter. What do we get with the pre-order?
Yeah, if you order pre-order it, then you automatically get that kind of suit. And they're going to reveal the other one at a later date. It's kind of like the Spider-Man PS4 one. If you pre-ordered it, you got like the Scarlet Spider suit as well.
I also got the Spider-Punk, I think, with PS4 Spider, which I don't like. That was a pre-order edition as well. Does Miles have another suit? The only one I can think of is Spider-Verse with the Nikes and the hoodie.
Most likely they will. If they did the Spider-Verse in the original game, they'll do it for this one.
Yeah. And what's this little thing, this gravity well gadget? Probably sucks it's like a Ghostbuster trap, probably.
It's most likely there's a gravity tool that Peter uses in the original game that makes
there's the grav lift, I think.
Up, goes up.
Oh yeah, the bad guys float up.
Yeah, so
maybe this is kind of like an
Miles
inverse.
has his own thing.
I see. Yeah. And you get also 3 extra skill points. So JR, does Spencer want this for Christmas? Is the boy mentioned anything?
I sent him a text. I said, Spencer, are you interested in the Miles Morales game? And he said, yes, I am. I don't know what we're going to do. There's no PS5 in our immediate future, that's for sure. Right now, we're trying to get. I don't know. We're trying to get him a job, so he's not going to college. He's not going to college this year because of all the other crap that's going on. You know, it's no point to send a kid to school and everything goes virtual. You know, but. Yeah, he's interested. I mean, he's interested. Cool. I also asked him about whether or not he cared about the change in Peter Parker's face, and he said he really didn't care. He said, he sees enough or hangs around enough people in their 20s who look like kids anyway, so it's not that jarring to him. So.
We've got one more tie-in thing to this Miles game. We've got 2 books coming out, a new companion book. So this is a prequel book written by Brittany Morris. Best author of Slay. I don't know what that is, but there, Peter, I think you read the prequel book to the PS4 game, didn't you? Or am I dreaming that? Someone did. Maybe it was Mark. I get you and Mark confused. I'm sorry.
Javi did.
Javi did. Okay. Yeah. So this probably sets up where Miles is in the game. Probably takes place between that. Who said it? That is there a year in between the two?
I'm actually don't know.
Yeah, someone said it. I think it was Kelly or Ashley.
Is a year after the original.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a year after the PS4 game. Okay, and also kind of like the PS4 game, we've also got an art of the game. So this is like concept art, I imagine, that and painted art and stuff like that by Matt Ralph. So you can order that. It's also, I guess it's going to be for sale. They probably want synergy. It's probably all going to be for sale when they release the game on. Oh, I take that back. It's February 21. And the prequel book takes place before you can order the game, so November 10th. Anybody going to order that? I don't tend to order stuff like that, but no, I'm not going to. Maybe someone in the YouTube comments will.
Oh, I know that name, Brittany Morris. That's right. Okay, I thought it was familiar. She wrote Slay. That's been on my reading list.
Oh, okay.
So, okay. That will be interesting.
You may pick that up, huh?
I might, just because I'll read her other book first. I haven't read it yet, but
yeah,
I might dive into her other stuff if I like it.
Well, there you go. Okay, so Kelly, you've got the next controversial topic. Let me put this in my
lot.
You have a lot. So
No.
because you demanded it, Jamie Foxx may be coming back or is coming back. It's confirmed.
Yes. All right. So here's hoping I don't die because apparently my roommates are trying to kill the internet and ruin me recording because they've been blasting everything and been really horrible. So sorry about this, guys. But as long as I don't die, we're good.
All right.
So anyway, to start off, we found out that Jamie Foxx is reprising his role as Max Dillon, aka Electro, in the next installment of Marvel Studios, Sony Studios joint venture, untitled Spider-Man 3 project. The rumored title is Spider-Man Homesick, which
Homesick. I haven't heard that one. That was good.
Yeah, he should be sick with everything coming into this movie. But
Homesick with COVID.
I digress. Anyway, while the set name is currently Serenity Now, which may or may not get changed when they move down here to Atlanta, but right now pre-production is starting at Pinewood Studio. Currently Pinewood Studios. The name will change of the studio later on. That's a different story. But they might have to change it because they were filming this week in New York, and a lot of fans, which is now actually a COVID risk for the set, and you guys really should not visit sets if you know where they are at this point because of this. There was about 60 people standing outside waiting and watching them. They had masks on, but that wasn't very safe. They were not 6 feet apart. But in any case, right now it's called Serenity Now for set names. So if you see that around, that's what it is. And I have friends that are working on it, but they have NDAs and they're not telling me anything.
Are they like extras or crew or what? I wonder.
Crew. Set. Crew. They work for set and location.
Neat.
But so in any case, the issue on why we found out about Jamie Foxx and why he had to confirm that he was coming on set is because someone leaked the call sheet for one of the scenes. So someone got fired. And so Jamie Foxx came back and posted on his Instagram that, yes, he was coming back and he was super excited. And he also posted some fan art, pre-production art. We don't know.
Look who that is. That is Tobey Maguire right there.
Well, it does look like Tobey Maguire. But see, it also slightly looks like this might be pre-production art from the animated movie. So we don't know if this is actually connected or not. He immediately deleted it. But then the next...
look at those eyes. Is that Electro up there?
That looks like Electro.
Yeah.
That's the thing is it's weird because no one knows where it came from, and then he immediately deleted it.
So he says, "Tell Spidey, let's run it back. Super excited, be part of the new Marvel Spider-Man new installment. Can't wait for y'all to check the new one. And I won't be blue in this one, but 1000% badass. # swipe left."
Swipe left. Yep. And then he had to delete it and repost it without that. But the next few days after that, we find out that Doctor Strange is going to be in this movie, which then, because basically Benedict Cumberbatch, or as I wrote on here, Butterscotch Cabbage Patch, is going to be Peter's new mentor because, in the MCU, he can't be his own character and he has to have a daddy figure at all times.
That's got to be a Sony contract deal. Like, you have to provide a Marvel character in our Sony Spider-Man film.
Well, I think that that's the Marvel situation, and that kind of ties into that whole situation on where they wanted more money, even though they weren't giving any money to the production whatsoever.
Yeah.
So thanks, Disney. Love it. And anyway, so Doctor Strange is coming and playing a significant role in this movie and will be on a large part of the filming. We don't really know exactly why or what's happening, but clearly it's very much alluding to some kind of multiverse situation, looking at what we know is happening for Doctor Strange 2, what we know is happening on Disney Plus with Loki, and the fact that Sam Raimi is involved in a lot of it, either overseeing stuff or directing Doctor Strange 2. So that's why people are thinking Tobey Maguire has to be coming back, but we don't have any confirmation of that. But what's really fun about this is that something that can be confirmed is anyone that has to actually be acting on set, anyone, and they're saying it's due to COVID, has to go through the VFX scanner, which means, Toby hurt himself filming Spider-Man and might be a little worried about coming back and doing anything. So he really wouldn't have to at all, because they could superpose as a face on any stunt actor. Same with Andrew Garfield, who Sony and him had a falling out. I don't really see him, like, they would have to pay him major money to get him back on set personally, like after the way they treated him through what we found out through those Sony leaks. So it would be interesting to see if both of them come back, or if it's just Toby, or what's happening. It'd be interesting to see, maybe that's why we don't have a Mary Jane. We have a Michelle Jones.
Yeah.
There's a lot that ties into, like, was this fully intended, or was this just fly off the seat of our pants and somehow this works out into a Spider-Verse?
Yeah, it sounds like Sony's trying to float things up and see if anybody latches on, if anybody salutes the flag. Like,
yeah,
they probably want this, but signing Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield together, that's kind of I don't think Sony has done that yet.
Well, see, this is the thing: is this something that when they were reworking their situation, like, is this stuff that Disney is going to hand money over towards? But then Disney's been hurting a lot lately because the way they're set up, and they got, they lost a large part of their money through not having theaters open, not having the parks open, which the parks always funneled into everything. So it's interesting to see what's going on and what they're going to be able to actually do. There's also, of course, the whole COVID situation. But with the VFX, they can do a lot in CG work. We've definitely seen them work on it. So I don't know. I feel a little bit weird about this, because to me, I feel like if they were to do a live action Spider-Verse, it would it makes the animated series a little less special.
True.
And it's very clear too that it's copying it. So it's also too basically saying, well, this was so popular, we'll do this here. And I don't know how I feel about it, but I want to see what's going on. There's also that line from Variety about how, he's a mentor figure and he's going to be like Uncle Ben to him, because that felt weird too. And I'm hoping that was just somebody misspeaking, because yikes.
So I suspect, I mean, I'm not a writer, but I suspect Doctor Strange possibly pulls in old villains. Like, would that explain why Electro comes back as Jamie Foxx, but an alternate version of him?
So I think what's going to happen is Doctor Strange is going to find Peter, who's on the run, and is going to try and help him be safe after what happened in Far From Home.
Yeah.
And maybe because Doctor Strange is dealing with the multiverse, they're going through different multiverses, trying to get back to the past or get back to something.
Rewind it then, yeah.
Exactly. And so that's where they're coming in at. And so they might be touching upon different worlds. And I think that was something they were hinting at with Morbius, too, from that trailer.
Catches my attention with this train of thought, too. Isn't WandaVision supposed to have, like, a lot of dimension hopping as well?
Yes.
It seems like we're seeing the framework come together for next stage of MCU.
Yeah.
And just tying into that.
So Loki is world hopping. WandaVision, we're not 100% confirmed on, because that could all be in Wanda's brain.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what it is more we're going to see Wanda's brain break, and that's going to tie in more towards a next Avenger movie.
Yeah.
Versus
go like House of M.
Exactly. Versus this is a little bit more Doctor Strangey.
What's the Doctor Strange 2 title? The multiverse or something? What's that?
Just got something multiverse.
Yeah.
Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
Madness. So with that being the title, it's gonna possibly lead into this Spider-Man multiverse that Jamie Foxx had to take the picture down of.
Yeah.
And it's supposedly that Sam Raimi will be directing the second Doctor Strange.
Oh, that's been confirmed.
Multiverse of Madness. There you go.
Yeah, that's been confirmed.
He's probably going to use his connections to Toby in order to bring him back. This is all speculation.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
And maybe it's just a ploy just to have it up to give the internet something to talk about, because it's all about clicks and hits.
Yeah.
And I just want to know when Spider-Man's going to be his own man in his own movie.
Here's the question.
One day.
Do you all want to see Toby and Andrew back with Tom Holland? Ashley, let's go around the horn. Ashley, would you like that on screen?
Depends on how they do it and what they do with it. I'm not opposed to the idea, to the concept itself. If they do it well, I'll like it. If they don't do it well, oh well.
Yeah. Chi-Town, you want to see all three Spider-Men on the screen?
Only if Toby gets to say, "Are you Iron Man Jr. or something?"
Yes.
Please.
That would be great.
Kelly,
Kelly, you want to see?
line alone would be
Can
good.
You
you
wanna
have
see
to say
three
it like that?
Spider-Men?
Like voice nearly breaking.
I want to see Toby, but could I possibly come in as Mayday if they're filming here? Like, it's
Yeah.
only 45 minutes from where I live. I would like to join, please. I can pass. Like, I could pass for like a 18-year-old, right? Like,
There you go.
maybe.
Yeah.
JR, you want to be
Okay,
Goblin?
crap.
Here's my question. So JR, this is specifically for you. When I saw that they're bringing back villains, I thought Willem Dafoe. If Willem Dafoe shows up at the end of this damn thing as a Green Goblin in a better looking suit, JR is going to lose his stuff. JR, do you want to see Toby and Andrew come back with Tom? And Willem Dafoe for that matter too.
You know, it's funny. I mean, I think to be honest, I think Toby and Andrew's time is done. I don't like this whole Spider-Verse idea. But you know, the thing is, Willem Dafoe is in his mid-60s.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, yeah, I'd probably drop a load. You know, if I saw Willem come back in a real costume. I mean,
good God.
But I don't know.
Yeah,
You know,
dropping a load.
Oh my God.
it's just like I would like to see a new Norman Osborn. Really, I mean, one that'll stick around. And Willem's too old for it. If he were 10 years young, of course, he's in a hell of a lot better shape at 65 than I ever will be. So,
and you are now, yeah. No,
yeah. I mean, it's like, so it's not. It's just I think that's time is done. As far as Jamie Foxx, I mean, he was far from the problem with.
He's a good
Amazing
actor,
Spider-Man.
but man, did they mess
he
him
was,
up.
He was far with the problem, but from the problem in Amazing Spider-Man 2. But I just don't like this. It's like we've got a new actor that we all pretty well universally like in Tom Holland.
Yes,
Yeah.
just the scripts suck.
And let's have him be his own character, his own man, his own have his, you know.
Yes.
This I mean, I don't like any of the Spider-Verse stuff. I really don't.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I'm caring less and less all the time. I mean, it's obvious they're not making superhero movies for 57-year-old men.
You're in the minority, but a lot of people want to see that Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
A lot of people are saying they want to see Tobey Maguire back, and I'm like, I haven't seen a Tobey Maguire movie. I haven't seen the actor in a long time.
I think
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think, you know, he's spending time with his family. He wound up, I think, with like 2 young daughters.
Actually, he did, but he got a divorce. He's currently dating a 27-year-old. Okay, let's take a look.
All right. Cool.
We have pictures of Toby today. This was taken in January.
Okay, no.
March 2020.
Well, good for him.
He's dating a 27. He got a divorce. He's dating her now. Though that's what Toby looks like. He's even got the kind of the sweats things going on and the coat thing going on, like the Spider-Verse thing.
Well.
So I could totally see that. And that looks like Harry Osborn right behind him. So
Harry Osborn.
here we go.
I mean,
There's Toby right there.
Why not? What a cool.
Is there a video?
All right.
Let's do it. Oh, there he is walking down the street with his girl. There he goes.
But like, this feels intrusive. Like, who cares?
I just wanted to see. Oh, is that his car? Oh my, is that his car?
No.
Oh, okay, that's not. Yeah. Anyway, is that his security behind him too? Anyway, that's so cool. I haven't seen the actor in like 10 years, so I wanted to see what he looks like.
Hand so he doesn't fall, or
he's not, oh, he has a Mini Cooper. Oh no, why do I keep thinking he's getting into a car?
I don't know.
Anyway, there's Tobey Maguire.
Yeah.
Come on, sweetie, you can make it. You can make it across the street.
That's got to be.
When was this filmed? Because they're not wearing masks.
It was March 2020.
Oh, okay.
So,
before times.
Before times. Oh, he's putting a hoodie on her. Okay. Anyway, I just found that. I'm like, wonder what he looks like. So that is Tobey Maguire today. What is that van?
Look at that van.
That was a Paisley van. Okay, so we've talked. Look, his minions are following. I think that was security.
I think so.
I bet you that was
And
security.
they're carrying the bags too.
They were.
They're
Man.
earning their keep.
Okay, JR, we've got you. Did you see the musical, the Spider-Man musical? I think you said you did when you were in New York.
Yeah, I did. I saw
Yeah,
it
so that's
What was Turn Off the Dark?
Turn
Yes.
Off the Dark. So
Oh my
let me
God.
version 2, not version 1.
version 2. So our next topic that we're going to talk about. Oh, hold on
What
a
version
second.
was
I thought it
better,
was the
Joel?
fish story, but it doesn't matter to me one way.
No,
or
we're
the
gonna do this one because we go to the weird at the end. Okay, so Julie Taymor had an interview in Bustle, I guess. Oh, yeah. So she talks about the Spider-Verse movie or the musical. Sorry, go ahead. Take me through it.
Yeah. Well, first of all, this is she's making a movie about Gloria Steinem,
Right.
And of course, then they decide to ask her, what was the hardest battle you fought during your career? And she says, well, Spider-Man was definitely the hardest, and I lost. Now, here's the thing. Well, I guess I just well, how does that make you feel? And she says, what it taught me is that you really, really have to know you're getting bad within. What happened on Spider-Man is people choked. They were all newbies, including Bono and The Edge. We went through 3 sets of producers. So at a certain point, they lost their nerve. Okay. Now, we had sharks just wanting to attack the play from the beginning, which is true. Because before there was a script, they were out to get me because I had a successful show and out to get Bono and The Edge because they were trying to do Broadway. I had a vision and the original people involved loved it. But by the time the play came out, 10 years had gone by and there was a lot of fear. This had been gestating for a while. They just wanted to put out something safe. And when you do that, you fail. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's really all she says about Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's the quote. Yeah.
But here's the thing. To expect somebody like Julie Taymor to have any kind of self-reflection or to look back and say, obviously I don't want to get. I'm not even going to start that because it would sound political. But it's just apparent why people hate Hollywood. And people hate the entertainment industry because people she has no humility. And I saw the Spider-Man musical. I read the book actually too, that the writer read the book. And Tamar, it's hard to imagine. She thinks she did something brilliant. I can appreciate somebody saying, hey, let's look at this from a different angle. Let's look at the mythological aspect a little bit more. But if she thought that people were going to flock to see a superhero musical that didn't look or sound like a superhero story, she was sadly mistaken. And it's just the thing was, if she's always right about them out to get the story to begin with. I mean, the snobbery in Broadway and New York and in the entertainment industry is unreal. So the whole idea of a Spider-Man musical offended people. The whole idea probably of people who were new to it, like Bono and The Ledge or whatever, probably offended people. But part of the problem that Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark had is that, for example, whenever they wanted to change the story, for example, Bono, I keep wanting to call him Bono. Bono and The Edge were never available. I mean, it's the book Spider-Man. What is the name? The Song of Spider. It's a very interesting book, and if you're one of these people who has any interest at all in becoming a performer or anything like that, read this book because it'll dishearten you immediately. Because you just see what an ugly business it is and how creativity really plays no part into it. I mean, Julie Taymor had her vision was completely unworkable. It was too expensive, for one. I mean, she was so invested in the gadgets. She was so invested in the effects. She was so invested in the spectacle. And she was so invested in the Arachne thing. I think she really lost sight of what made Spider-Man popular. And nobody could tell her because she'd done Lion King. So she was invulnerable. Nobody could tell her anything. But like I said, too, Bono and the Edge, to be honest, the songs aren't that good. They
Except
really
for that
aren't.
Goblin song. The Goblin song's catchy.
And as you can as you can tell, like of course, this is the perspective of the writer, of course, and he's a hero of his own story, like we all are. But like I said earlier, on something like this, when you're doing a musical, the story and everything has to sync up. And they were never available. They were on tour, or Bono was doing something with President Obama. They were never available when a story, and then they would come in and they say, "Oh my God, that story sucks." It's like, well, where were you guys? And yes, part of the problem was but see, the first producer died. The guy who had a rein on everything, the guy who probably could have changed, maybe made it work a little more. He died. Julie Taymor had nobody who could tell her that she was wrong. In fact, the writer says that when the third producer came in, that he was a jerk too, but he had somebody like his administrative assistant who could tell him when he was wrong or when he was going off the edge. The Spider-Man musical, though, was.
Did you like it? Did you like it?
I did like it. It was one draft away. It needed another draft or two, to be honest.
Okay.
I mean, basically, what happened, for those of us who don't remember the Spider-Man musical, the first version that was heavily Julie Taymor, the Green Goblin died at the end of the first act. Okay, then the second act was like a surreal dream. You had like a called the Geek Chorus, who were a bunch of geeks who commented throughout the story as to what was going on, telling the audience what was going on. And the second act was like a fever dream almost. And there was, and again, there was the shoes. We ought to have had Stella guest star or whatever, because she saw Spider-Man.
I remember Stella saw this. Yeah,
there was a song about shoes, and the whole idea, if you're going to do a musical about Spider-Man, is you want it family friendly. You want people to bring their kids, and you want the kids to enjoy it. And if the kids come in, and the parents who grew up on Spider-Man saying, "What the F is this?" So the whole idea that she did something daring, and it was going to be successful, but everybody else was just a bunch of cowards who wanted to play it safe is, but again, who should be surprised at the hubris? When I went to see it, it had a lot of weaknesses. It had, it was a hasty rewrite. Basically, they shut the show down for 2 weeks or whatever to do a hasty rewrite. Oh, Kelly, do you want to say something? You got your hand up, and I just keep.
Well, it's after your thing, because there's also other things involved as to why it was shut down. Mostly due to the fact that they literally were denied show insurance after the guy fell. So like once that ran out, they weren't allowed to start again. That's one reason why, because Julia Taymor, she constantly talks about how they're gonna get the tour up and running. They can't get that up and running because there were too many injuries. Too many issues just from cutting safety protocols and not handling it appropriately. Beyond everything else that was wrong, like JR saying about the script, because I agree 100%. It's just, there was so much, it's just a cluster F of insanity.
Several people in chat are asking about this book JR is referencing. It's called Song of Spider-Man. Is that right, JR?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Came out in 2014. It's right there on Amazon. 8 copies left.
But the thing is, I got one of the digital versions when it was on sale for like $2.99. So I said I can't pass that up. But and Kelly's, Kelly, I'm glad Kelly brought that up, because when the people who are getting hurt, I mean, and they literally did run out of money. They literally did run out of money. And I think when Disney bought Marvel, I think Disney saved it by, a cash infusion. But here's the thing, though. I mean, the show, everyone wants to talk about flops. Okay. What a flop it was or whatever. It wasn't a flop. One, it cost too much. I mean, there was no way, but it ran for 3 years and it went until the very end. And I think that, it had one more accident where a guy got his leg crushed in the for whatever reason, it just seemed that the grosses then fell after that. Maybe it was just like the bad karma finally caught up with it, but it grossed over $1 million a week for 3 years. And its running costs, though, made it unprofitable.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is. I mean, if you
$1 million a week, $52 million a year.
If you follow, but the thing is that it probably cost at least that or more a week to run. I mean, I can't imagine what the liability insurance was. Couldn't imagine. That probably killed it. And yeah, there'll be no tour. There'll be no tour. Never tour. You'll never see this again. It's a disaster. It's in its present form. It's toxic.
I'm amazed they didn't release it on DVD or Blu-ray like they did Hamilton with Disney Plus. I mean,
well,
it has to have a certain reputation before they film a stage version of it.
Yeah,
and you can't hardly. I mean, when you sit back and think about how many films. How many releases there are of Broadway shows? Very, very, very few.
Yeah.
Shrek the Musical. I believe there's like the last performance of Rent. You know, when nobody wants to see those people, they want to see all the opera. And Hamilton did it because, I mean, one, Disney Plus needed programming. Broadway was shut down. You know, Lin-Manuel Manuel was thinking, well, yeah, I could probably use another $50 million. Sure, why not?
I wouldn't have been able to see Hamilton. I loved that. I loved watching that. The songs that's the opposite of Spider-Man. The songs are amazing in that one.
Yeah. But you know, with Hollywood, with Broadway, though, you have so many unions, you have so many rights issues. You could, I mean, honestly, if they thought. If Broadway producers thought, hey, you know, like, for example, I'll just throw out Wicked with the original cast, Idina Menzel and Kristen Chenoweth, because they're so much big. If they thought they could make a killing releasing that thing, they'd probably do it in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
Is there not a Wicked Blu-ray? I mean, is there not a recording of the stage?
Only if you want to sail the high seas.
Cultural phenomenon.
Like Hamilton,
DVD release of it.
And to be honest, Broadway shows really aren't. I mean, with Hamilton, they filmed that specifically knowing they were going to do this anyway.
Right.
Most Broadway shows, they filmed them for like the Lincoln Center archives, so that they're preserved for posterity. But they're not usually filmed. When they're filmed, they're not filmed presentation wise. There was another one. Newsies was recently done.
Oh, Newsies. Yeah, I remember Newsies. Yeah.
See, I think they went back and redid that, frankly, because, you know, I'm sitting there thinking, you know, gee, Jeremy Jordan looks a little bit old to be playing a teenage newspaper boy.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's now, I mean, Tamar says nothing new. I mean, I'm brilliant. Everybody refused to recognize my brilliance.
Embrace my brilliance. You know, did anybody besides JR see the musical? Did you guys, anybody?
I watched a really, really old YouTube rip back when it was still on. It was the second version. It was very bad.
I've seen some clips of the Goblin song, and I want to see
when he was on Letterman. I remember he came and they had Sullivan Theater.
Yeah. Well, the Goblin costume is appalling. I mean, it's vomit inducing. But the reason they had him fly, the reason though he flew was because they knew they could not get the glider thing to work. I mean, they had enough trouble getting Spider-Man to spin around. They just knew that they could not
kill somebody.
Yeah, exactly. They could not feasibly put somebody on a glider. But
there's a documentary of the making of this musical.
I think the book is about as good as you're going to get.
Yeah, there's like various
I want a Fire Fest style documentary on this.
Oh, there's actually it's the very first episode of a YouTuber called Behind the Wings or In the Wings, and all they do is talk about different Broadway shows and how everything does. And so, like, it's called Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark, What Went Wrong, and it goes over everything that's in the book in like a very good documentary style, like 20-minute video. And it's, if you don't have time to read that book, definitely watch that documentary, because it's a lot of fun, and it gives you more insight as to why things fell apart.
Devil Breaker says he saw the same clip Kelly probably did. Is Carnage in version 1 but not version 2?
No, he's in version 2. What happens? Okay. What happens is, and it really isn't a bad story per se. Again, when I watched it, you know, of course, I'm sitting there as a critical Spider-Man fan, but I enjoyed it. And it was apparent that the people who went also enjoyed it. The kids liked it, you know, and particularly when Spider-Man does come swinging and he lands like literally right in front of you, you know.
Well, here we go. Anthony says he saw it on chat. He saw Turn Off the Dark. It was weird in person, but cool because Spider-Man goes into the audience and says hi, which was very surreal. So that's kind of cool, Anthony, that you saw
It's
that.
enjoyable, but it has a lot of weaknesses. It's a shame they couldn't have done another polish on it, because then it might have been a very nice, but it was just too expensive to run. It would never have. But no, the book, and read the book. The book is interesting, not just but if you're, like I said, because I'll give you an example of the writer. For example, he couldn't get paid until the musical actually opened. So like he's flat broke. He's having to borrow money from producers, and he's sitting, and he's talking about like when his water goes, like as he has a pipe burst or whatever, and he's sitting there thinking, oh my God,
he can get into character.
My family has no water, it's so he literally nobody got. I mean, I don't think Julie got paid either. But then again, she didn't need any money. She was making gazillions in residuals from Lion King or something or other.
No,
it's if you can get the book at an affordable price, go for it. It's very interesting. Like I said, if you think of an entertainment career, whoa, no, it's business.
JR's got the next topic. We got a kid spider fisherman. Take me through this.
I keep thinking Brett gives me these Spider Kid stories because he's hoping I'll go off the rails and do on these kids.
I love this cute little boy.
Look at this little adorable little boy. Look at this adorable little boy standing next to this ugly ass fish.
That's a big old fish. Yeah.
Gee whiz! It's like, who wouldn't look cute and adorable, next to that? I mean, holy guacamole!
Looks like a green goblin.
Is that the same as mahi mahi, or am I getting confused?
No, you're right. It's mahi mahi. It's just down, south of the
fish, not the kid.
South of the border, they call it Dorado, but in Hawaii and for the rest of us, it's mahi mahi.
What did this little boy do? Tell me, JR.
Oh, he brought in this fish. He's been fishing since he was, a little minnow, I guess himself. And, he happened to wear his Spider-Man costume, and like the story said, his Spider-Man costume undoubtedly helped him gather the strength required to reel in one of the region's most popular and scrappy game fish. I wonder. It makes a good story.
Advertising.
Yeah.
With his dad on the end of the boat. That's
there is. Yeah. Okay. So if you're a parent, look, Dad's kind of holding him there. If you're a parent, are you going to sit back and let a 4-year-old kid try to rake in a fish? No, not unless you're flying. Not unless you're hunting bluegill. That's about the only, No, I'm sorry.
Devil breaker, spider bass.
But then they say, "Oh, look, his mom was a fisherman too, and his mom caught a ugly ass fish just like he did." What chemistry? What What symmetry there is. But it's not like the 7-year-old with the hit and run. I mean, at least this is a little more pleasant story.
Well, I think I gave you a story with a kid that caught a similar fish with a Spider-Man fishing pole several podcasts ago. I remember another spider fisher.
I don't remember that one. You may have been George. It may have been George. Because I've about had it with cute spider kids. It's like. There's the kid who wore the Spider-Man T-shirt that was worthy of a story. Then there was the kid who disappeared for a while, and he's wearing a Spider-Man shirt. It's like, what's that to do with Spider-Man?
By the way, that part of the show is called The Best Part, says Anthony, where I start getting not really new stuff at the very end to wrap up the show. So it just so happens this last topic was assigned to Mike. And Mike said, I'm not covering this one, so that leaves it to me to cover this one. So this next topic, I discovered this article up on Polygon.com. So we were talking about the video game earlier, and there are a lot of people. Ashley Jack is in the video game world. There's a lot of people that make video games, right? Some jobs are glamorous. Some jobs are not glamorous. This guy was in charge.
About this job.
Wait, it's like this guy was in charge of designing Peter Parker's nipples and bulge in the PS4 game. So, if you remember,
oh my god.
Okay, so you're trying to tell me that a face like that has a body like that. Y'all.
I expect everybody who was offended by me holding up my pumpkins to apologize now. Okay,
So-
that's worse.
So this,
Oh my God, that's awful.
so this,
This
this
is
guy by the
equality.
name of, what's his name? Ryan Benno. He made a tweet about being a designer of a video game character. And he was in charge. He had to make the character's nipples. What possible options to explore varying nipple looks and how to out of scope tone our nipples? Wow.
Put that
there,
on the resume.
I know. Look, so this the designer designed this, and this is a skin in the suit. You got the spider boxers there. Let's see. The undies outfit had to get green lighted from Marvel. What else are we talking about?
What else?
He was in charge
Alright.
of the muscle detail, the skin texture, and particulars of his anatomy. So, but to get
So they
Peter
didn't go
Parker-
to Roberto Ramos on this. That's good.
to get the nipples right, he told Fanbyte that he had to use plenty of shirtless references, including looking at himself in the mirror.
Wow.
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 He also had to think carefully about Peter Parker's briefs. He had to decide how high the underwear rode on his hips up here,
Okay. All right.
and whether or not the briefs had any wrinkles or flaps. The resulting design depicts Peter Parker in unwrinkled, low-rise trunk briefs, which show off the V shape of his lower abdomen and the dimples on
You
his
gotta
lower
get the
back.
cut. Yeah, look, he works out. Like you
He's
gotta get those
He's
cuts.
cut. Yeah, he's
Just so y'all know, we call that the lines that make smart girls go dumb.
Whoa. Oh my
let's
gosh.
see.
Ugh.
Picking Spider-Man's boxers also come with minute yet important decision. What does Peter Parker's bulge look like? Getting the right balance between what is visible and what was not was tricky. I settled on a bulge that was slightly larger than what's visible on the advanced suit.
I want to know what this design dog looks like.
I say that when I wake up every morning and look in the mirror.
The logic there being, he says, that he didn't have as much constriction or
I
support.
say that too.
There is so much thought put to this. I love it.
So things would be a little bit more free to move around with the web shooter. Okay,
Oh,
so let's see. What else? There was just me being shameless about adding some beefcake, says the designer.
Good
At
for
this
him.
point, nipples in video games have practically become a meme. There's a Super Mario Odyssey sped running category that calculates how long it takes players to get the plumber shirtless. Who thinks of these things? Let's see. What else? Let's see. Any thoughts on this guy's job?
Well, you know,
Go ahead, JR. What are you saying?
no. Well, I don't mean to. Kelly was talking.
Oh, go ahead, Kelly.
I just said it's a job.
Yeah,
That
it
was
is
it.
true.
We're good.
It paid
I
in
do
net presence.
remember. I do remember reading though. It's although this is a little bit much. I do remember reading though when they were doing Frozen, the original Frozen, for example, and they brought in the actresses, you know, to loop and other things, and like they were seeing the original versions, and like the original versions of like Elsa and Anna, they didn't have their gowns, so essentially they were bare-legged. I don't know how much was bare, but they were bare-legged, for example. And I remember one of the actresses said, "Gee, that's kind of sexist," or whatever. But they had to do that before they overlaid the clothes in order for the clothes to move.
It's like a layer in Photoshop, I imagine.
So they're as voyeuristic as this obviously is, you know, and again, you know, I actually the video game expert, you know, here on how video games are made. It's probably rational.
The sausage has to get made somehow. Part of the
No.
That's how the
bad
sausage
word
is made.
Bad analogy.
Sausage has to be made somehow.
Oh, we got to snort. We got to snort out of action.
Oh, I did not intend that.
Wow, that's.
No, I think it's good to shed light on to give recognition to this kind of work, because it's like when you think about doing character models and stuff like that, yeah, they got to think about what are they going to look like under the suit and to make sure things move naturally, and especially for fun skins like this. So I think it's good to shed some light on it and have a conversation about it.
So I'm reading this article a little bit more. They were talking about how
as opposed to all the articles you don't read that you assign people.
Well, like I said, Mike had this one, but they were talking about when they have to design actual humans. Developers, they got in a bit of an argument in the 2008 Incredible Hulk game. Edward Norton didn't like how his chest looked when Bruce Banner was when he was shirtless.
That not surprise me.
The project recalls having his team pulled into a meeting room where they were told that someone from the movie team had heard that Ed Norton had concerns over his chest. A second developer who was not in the meeting recalls it confirmed the incident. Polygon character's model or physical physique, I can't say for sure. The team had to change the camera angles for the in-game cinematics, which previously displayed the Hulk's nipples. This is a Spider-Man and a Hulk story. So there's Ed Norton right there from the 2008 Spider-Man game.
Is his chest he was worried about?
Yeah, he's worried about. Yeah,
I know it was early 2000s.
yeah.
That reminds me of a Futurama episode where they had all the Star Trek actors or whatever go to some planet or whatever, and Leonard Nimoy, looks at. He said, "Buff, tan, yeah, this is my body, all right."
The quote says, "Anytime the Norton character model without a shirt was used, it was either a close-up above his nipple line or far enough away shot that you couldn't really make them out." He said, adding that the production schedule was already hard before having to reduce some of the work. Sure, if you look at the compilation featuring cinematics from the game, many of Norton's shirtless scenes are very zoomed in or somehow obscure the full version of his chest. Oh, Devil Breaker. Yes, Brad is enjoying this. Spider-Man and Hulk all in one conversation. Any other thoughts on that one? Oh,
I think you pretty
killed
well
it with that topic. All right. Let's see comments. That person can put Spider Bulge on his resume. Oh yeah,
I would.
You would.
It's a conversation point.
It is. That's got to be in the interview. Like, so what'd you work on? Yes, it's PS4 Spider-Man. What'd you do? Yeah, there you go. You're hired. Okay. Well, before we wrap up, we'll take a couple questions from the 40 plus people. We're 38 now. I guess I killed him with the spider nipples. No, Adam, I am not Googling that. Devil Breaker has a knock-knock joke for Kelly. It's Spider-Man related. Okay, go ahead, Devil Breaker, I guess. We're waiting for Kelly's knock-knock joke. Why does Kelly get it? Why don't we all get it? All right, we'll wait for that. What a way to kill it, Devil Breaker.
Wait time for that.
Yeah, okay. Knock, knock. Who's there? Oh, not Kelly, evidently.
Oh, no.
I did not touch anything. She just dropped out.
She said she's been having internet trouble, so it looks like
Devil Breaker
died on her.
That's funny. Okay. Go ahead, Devil Breaker. Feel free to finish the knock-knock joke.
Who's there? Miles who?
Okay, that was hysterical. I said knock-knock, and you left. It's like you don't want to hear the knock-knock joke, Kelly. Can you hear me?
Comedic timing.
Can you hear me? Poor Kelly. So knock, knock, Miles. She ran to the door. Okay. Kelly, can you hear us?
Sorry, guys. I'm having so much trouble with the internet right now.
Well, your timing was hysterical. So Devil Breaker's about to tell you a knock-knock joke, and then you leave. Like you're not answering the door. I think that was awesome.
Oh, man.
No one's home.
So good. All right, Devil Breaker, give us the punchline. We said Miles who? The weirdest ending of the show. Okay.
Oh my God.
With two clones, Spider Miles and Cubic Miles. All right. Good job.
Okay, I feel so bad. I cannot
Oh, good.
The internet is being absolutely insane. But
JR, I saw this during it. I didn't get to it on the last show. has there ever been a storyline where Green Goblin and Green Goblin and Spider-Man teamed up, and Green Goblin and Ock? There was a recent Green Goblin and Ock.
But it really was. Yeah, it wasn't a team up story. They've never teamed up against Spider-Man. They were in a story together in a.
What was
it?
It
was Superior Spider-Man team up. I think
that's it.
But it was just Doc Ock showing up, to Norman's secret lair when Norman was dead for 7 years, and then we find out that Norman gave his girlfriend AIDS. I think
Friends drew that. I really do. I think he did. Do you think Friends drew that?
I think he drew. Yeah. Not a particularly favorite story of mine. But no, they've never teamed up. Now in the Ultimate Universe they have, but not in the 616.
Well, here's the question.
Makes perfect sense. Those two couldn't work together to save their lives.
Another question is that was on the last show: has Spider-Man and Green Goblin ever teamed up? I don't remember that.
They not so. I mean, in like Busiek's Untold Tales number 25, they worked together for a little bit to escape the version of the X-Men's Danger Room. I thought they were going to team up a little bit in the Mark Millar's story when Spidey busted Norman, but they really didn't. So no, there's never there's a good story waiting to be there for them actually having to work together. There really is a good story there. But then again, I mean, why have that when we can have we can have oversized issues written by
music about strawberries and dogs.
No, I was thinking about the Scorpion issue with what was his name? The guy who Quesada brought him in, and he was a horrible writer. The one that dated Cher. Yeah.
Oh,
I can't remember his name, but he writes.
Get Craven. He wrote Get Craven.
Yeah. He wrote
Oversized story. Know that one? Oh, what's that guy's name? Zimmerman.
Ron Zimmerman. There you go.
Yeah, got it.
A story of Jonah and Spider-Man camping together. I'd rather read something like that rather than a good Norman Peter team up story. So
I want to thank Josh Nelson doing a super chat for us. Thanks for the donation to the site. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Spider-Man versus Jason Voorhees. Who wants to see it?
Before we go into this, have you heard this one, Josh? I don't always, but when I do, I.
That's pretty good. I like that. There was evidently a good Jason or Friday the 13th video game that came out within the last 5 years or so. I think that was kind of fun. I didn't play it, but
Friday the 13th more is Spider-Man versus Freddy, because Freddy's more the cornball, and so they could get some good quips going and have a good back and forth.
As many people who've watched this show over the years know, I'm a big Chucky fan. And I think Freddy versus Chucky would be great because they're both humorous, and they could be in the mine world. And I don't know. I think that'd be fun.
They both like knives.
And he's got the hand. Yeah. Let's see. Jonathan wants to know, has anyone played the Marvel Avengers game? I have not. I'm waiting till it's on sale. And I read an article today that's not doing well. It's I'm not an online. I don't have PlayStation Plus, so I don't play with online gamers. I'm just happy to get through the main story. So Ashley, do you play online?
Is it already out?
Yeah, it came exactly. See, people don't know if it's out.
I mean, I've been totally in my own world of moving in and having a baby in a month, so some things are a little off my radar.
Right, Kelly, can you hear us? You there? Kinda. Her internet is really wigging. I was wondering to see if she's played the Avengers game on PlayStation. No, she can't hear us, I don't think. But I was reading online that people that play the Avengers game online, not many people are playing it, and so they're having problems getting people into like a group that goes on to a mission. So I that's not good for a game that's been out for less than a month. So yeah. I probably will buy it for $20. Peter, you're a gamer. Are you going to pick this up? It's got Spider-Man in it.
Gamer.
No. You've got a PS4.
I got a PS4. I got the Batman games. I got a Godzilla game, and I got a Spider-Man game. That's it.
No interest in the Avengers game?
No, is this the Avengers? Is this the game that was like the big cinematic one that with MODOK and?
Yeah. That was it. Kelly, can you hear us?
I can hear you guys.
Oh, there you are. There you are.
For how long? I don't know.
Yeah.
My roommates were blasting who knows what for hours, so now my internet is throttling me.
Oh.
So I'm sorry, guys.
Okay. Hey, I was asking, have you played the new Avengers game?
No.
Any interest in it?
I maybe to watch it for a second. It's just the only thing that seems to interest me would be the Spider-Man part of it. Yeah. So
and that's a DLC, yeah.
Exactly.
I think they have Miss Marvel in that too, and so I was excited to get to play her and see her in the game.
I don't really have a connection to that character. I think she has a lot of screen time in it, more than the Avengers. I think that's kind of turns me off.
Yeah, they are really pushing her, though. I mean,
yeah.
So, I asked the expert here. Did you play it? Yes. Was it any good? Yes, and no. And he's not. I got the 3 dots of hell, and then they dropped off. So I don't know if he's going to say any more than that. But it was like yes and no. So I think that probably sums it up.
Yeah, I have a friend of mine. It's not a $60 game for me. I'll wait until it's $20. I'll hold off on that one. Vinkman says there's a story of Peter Norman and Normie being trapped in the elevator that had been blown up. I guess that was working together.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Well, and actually, Norman was just kind of laying there, not wanting to give himself away.
Yeah.
And then actually, it was Peter that did all the work.
Norman was. Is that a Howard Mackey Romita Jr.?
Howard Mackey. Yeah.
Like after Clone Saga? Yeah, I kind of remember that one. Kelly's having internet problems. There we go. Adam says he played the Friday the 13th game. Yeah, I heard that one was good. JR, I know this because I added your review to the main page from your old website. You read the Goblin Moon novel, and I don't think you liked it. It was another Kurt Busiek to tie this all together, who wrote the Strawberry Story that Ashley read.
Yeah, he wasn't the only writer. There was somebody else who I suspected more, but no, it was a very, very disappointing story. Norman was written as a cartoon cliched character, who all he did was rant and rave and say evil stuff, and there was a lot of continuity bits left out that should have been in there. So no, it is not only for completists only.
Yeah. Kevin says you can count Spider-Man 3 if you count Harry as the Green Goblin. I don't. That was a goblin, but that was, what do they call that? New Goblin? Josh says it's mama, or how's he saying that? Mama.
Maybe I've always seen the meme does so I'm only going off that template.
Devil Breaker,
whoever made that responsible.
Yeah, Devil Breaker is also waiting for the DLC in Avengers. Heroing wants to know, JR, your thoughts on Nick Spencer, how he writes Norman. Do you like it, or are you not a fan of his version of Norman? I don't like him taking the goblin serum. That was weird.
There's sometimes there's dialogue or scenes where you think he gets it, and then there are others where it's like, no, he doesn't get it. It's very mixed feelings. I mean, to be honest, the person who wrote Norman the best, or the people who, Warren Ellis, I think, really understood the character.
Paul Jenkins.
And Paul Jenkins and Bendis when he wasn't writing him in his tidy whities. But for whatever reason, at the end, they just crapped on everything there in New Avengers. But I don't know that Spencer's got it yet. So,
here's another question. We didn't talk about this on news, but Ryan Otley is leaving after 2 years. How much longer does Spencer have in him, you guys think? Can he double Otley's run? Can he go 4 years?
Considering he hasn't told that very many actual stories, he probably can keep going for a long time.
Aw. He's written 50 issues.
But how many stories? How many actual stories?
Hunted, GOG, Norman, ASM 50. You've got Sin Eater story, the 2 Spider-Men. What's another one?
And how many stories did Stan Lee tell in 50 issues in Spider-Man?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I mean, I know that nobody writes like that anymore.
They're writers, so.
Let's see. We've got. I could see Spencer writing another year. Josh wants to know who was the worst Green Goblin writer.
I don't know if it's so much the writer as the story. I mean, Howard Mackey, for example, I thought had a really good handle on Norman Osborn, and but he also did The Gathering of Five and Final Chapter. So, I'm trying to think if there was a truly terrible writer who didn't get Norman, but I'm drawing a blank. That doesn't mean that there isn't one, but I'm just drawing a blank now.
Yeah. Did you guys review ASM 850? Yes. We started that 7 o'clock, 3 hours ago. You can go back and look at it in just a little bit. But I would do it quick because I take them down for Patreon members so they can get the content exclusively for supporting the site.
I have a question for JR.
Yeah, go ahead.
So if they did, you mentioned how what you would like to see is if they took Norman Osborn and went ahead and gave him a new start in the whatever cinematic universe they're going with, if it's MCU or if it's wherever we are down the line. Do you have any actors in mind that you think would really do a good job that would kind of, this is who you want to see as Osborn?
Oh, I mean, Matthew McConaughey's name came up. I don't know. I mean, it's like, the reason that one reason I liked Willem Dafoe was because when you go back and watch that movie, he is having a blast.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so much, that sometimes you get these actors in there who it's a paycheck, they don't care, and I'm not sure Matthew McConaughey, for example, really would care enough about the character to really do it justice. I really don't know. I know that one guy who was mentioned was the guy who played the bad guy in Breaking Bad, and I don't know his name,
Cranston.
but he also No, Bryan Cranston. There we go.
Welcome back, Kelly.
Bryan Cranston, I think, could do Norman Osborn. I would definitely like to see Bryan Cranston as Norman Osborn. The guy who was Moff Gideon in The Mandalorian. He's been mentioned before. He does have the hair. But I wouldn't mind seeing Cranston. I mean, and Bryan Cranston, I think, is the only actor that I could see playing Carl Kolchak too. I'd like to see somebody do another take on that character other than Stuart Townsend or Johnny Depp.
Someone did a great Photoshop. I remember sharing it on Facebook of Bryan Cranston in the biography of Stan Lee.
Yeah,
I think that would be great.
Bryan Cranston is Stan Lee.
Bryan Cranston is Stan Lee.
Mark Maron is Stan Lee.
Mark Maron.
He's Sam Sylvia in Glow. He's Stan. Yeah. He looks like Stan Lee from the 70s.
Really?
Like young Stan Lee.
But can he act?
Yeah.
Okay.
Glow.
Oh. Anyway, Kelly is upset with her roommates. Are you okay now?
I'm using my phone, so I'm using my data.
Gotcha.
Off the internet, yeah.
Got it.
So no, I'm fine. So we're
Brad
good.
and JR, what's your favorite Amazing Spider-Man comic story of all time? I guess the one I go back to, and JR, you're probably going to do a Goblin, but the part that I almost guarantee you're doing a Goblin. The part that I come back to that sealed the deal for me with Spider-Man was 252, the black costume. I'm going to read this for a long time. DeFalco and Friends took him back for after the Secret Wars, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. He's got a living suit, and at 1984, I was the perfect age for that. And JR had a third mortgage and I had a wife in 1984. But I was 9 years old in 1984, and that was just, I loved it. So the original DeFalco and Friends run. JR, ASM 121?
No, not hardly. I don't think it's a very good story, to be honest. And Conway admitted it had pacing problems because Gil Kane, he had some issues with Gil Kane. It depends on the mood I'm in. It's like, what's your favorite movie? Well, sometimes I'm in the mood for Citizen Kane. Sometimes in the mood for Wild Bunch. Sometimes I'm in the mood for Star Treks 2, 3, and 4. Just, I like the, I like the Norman's return in Peter Parker Spider-Man 75. I think that's just a blast, where it's just mad dog nuts Norman gone, come back from the dead and blowing crap up and saying crazy things. A personal favorite of mine has always been the Black Cat, Doc Ock, Owl War. I'm not sure why. I think there's a lot of stories I like from that era because I was that age. I was the same age as Spider-Man at that time. He was in grad school or whatever, and I was in college. And, a lot of those stories just kind of, I just really feel, because I was that age. So it really just depends on the mood. I mean, that's why when I do a top 10, they're almost interchangeable depending upon the mood that I'm in. So that's not really the answer you were looking for, but that's about the best I can give you.
Anthony wants to know, do you think Kindred will be revealed next week in ASM 851? No,
but it will be revealed in that storyline.
Oh, no, that'd be too soon.
Last Remains. Last Remains really means.
Really? You think it's going to be revealed after that?
It's going to be revealed.
ASM 850 what? You think we get the mask
probably
reveal?
Like ASM like 55.
Huh? Really?
Maybe. Yeah.
You think they could go to 900? No, they can't stretch it that long.
I think the Kindred story is ending around 55. I think Last Remains is, because in the promos it says, now that Last Remains is over, and you thought the build up to Kindred was awesome, what will the after thought be or whatever? So I think they're going to end it, but it can't come soon enough.
Devil Breaker's upset he didn't see you review that issue, JR. Willem Dafoe would make a good Joker. William Dafoe is just a great actor.
He has been mentioned a lot. It's a shame that Pattinson is so young, because Dafoe is the first name that comes up. Other than the Johnny Depp sycophants, but Dafoe's too old. I mean, he's too old unless he was going against Michael Keaton.
Josh is very upset that you don't like parts of Kraven's Last Hunt and you don't like the night Gwen Stacy died. Explain yourself, Spider Yoda.
Well, first of all, I did 2 podcasts on Kraven's Last Hunt. So, hint, go back and watch Crawlspace podcast number something. Now, even Conway admits night Gwen Stacy died had some issues. I mean, it ends the story didn't have time to breathe, really, when you think about it. It's Gwen. It should have been a 3-parter. There's and to be honest, it's hard to read now because, like I said, Norman is written a lot better now than he was back then. Back then, he was just a crazed, supervillain, crazed, cliched supervillain, and frankly, I think it was good that they killed him off then too, because he was becoming a one-note character. So, it's a great story. Is it a good story? Not particularly.
Anthony says ASM 300 was my favorite when I was a kid. McFarlane's pencils blew my mind away. I loved ASM 300. I agree. Nick Spencer has taken the Square Enix approach of announcing announcements, but who knows what the nucleus of the story will be.
I wanna throw in for Square Enix here. They've gotten a lot better about that. They've learned from their mistakes. So
okay. To me that sounds like a suppository. What is Square Enix?
They make video games. They're a big, game developer in Japan. They do the Final Fantasy series, which is a big one. Kingdom Hearts, Dragon Quest. Dragon Quest. So
I'm going to wrap it up, but let's get through these that have already been written. I think The Last Remains will just be the tip of the iceberg for Kindred, says Gary in the Frozen. I hope not. I hope we're in the final chapter, if you will. Let's see. They can't keep teasing Kindred, messing with Peter, not revealing him. That will get super old, says Adam. Comet says JR's favorite part of The Last Hunt was Vermin. No.
You know me so well, Comet. You know me so well.
Least favorite. Mine too. I'm just giving you a hard time, JR. I disagree with your opinion heavily, but I respect it. There you go. That's civil. Look at that civil. That's civil.
I didn't take any offense. I mean, it's a legitimate question. It's one of the all-time classic Spider-Man stories. And if someone doesn't really like it that much, it's a fair question. Well, what else you like about it? So, fair question.
We'll end on Josh with the super chat. We'll go around the horn to answer your question. Favorite and least favorite Spider-Man villains.
Vermin.
My favorite, I guess, is Norman. Least favorite is who do I hate? It's so easy with X-Men. I hate Mojo. That's so easy. Who do I hate? Judas Traveler. I don't like. I guess Judas Traveler. How about that? Ashley, who do you love and hate?
I think some of my favorites. I always love the street level ones. So like Tombstone, Hammerhead, and Kingpin.
Yeah,
are just almost like guilty pleasure level with how much I enjoy those stories.
Yeah.
But I don't know why I would be guilty about it. It's just I just enjoy it. Least favorite, Screwball.
Screwball. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, also, who's that brand new day guy that pukes?
Is that his name? Pukes?
No, what? No, he's a meth
There
freak.
is a
Oh,
character
freak.
who throws stuff
Freak.
up, right? You
Yeah.
know?
Oh, that was the vomiting vulture. I don't like vomiting vulture and
Vomiting
freak.
Vulture.
Remember vomiting vulture?
Oh my god.
I brought you back with that one from Brand New Day. Peter, who's your favorite and least favorite?
My favorite is Mysterio.
Okay.
Ooh.
My least favorite is. I don't really have a least favorite. I never open up the comic book and go, "Oh, it's him again." But Doc Ock has been used so much that he's not my least favorite, but
He's my number 2. I
He
mean,
has the worst hair.
yeah.
yeah, he has the more haircut.
Kelly, favorite, least favorite?
Favorite has got to be Green Goblin, Norman Osborn. That's just classic.
Yeah.
Least favorite, obviously, Screwball, Doc Ock, because Doc Ock is overplayed. But I'm gonna say Dan Slott. I know those are fighting words, but
He did
I
kill
feel like-
Spider-Man.
He would be a villain if he killed Spider-Man.
And he's gloating about it on Disney Plus. So
Oh
clearly
yeah, I saw
he's
that.
the biggest, like he is clearly a spider villain because he's gloating about killing him off.
Yeah. JR, favorite, least favorite?
Oh, favorite Vermin. Oh, without a doubt. Now,
Well, obviously it's Goblin. I mean, there's no doubt.
obviously, least favorite. It's easy to it's easy to pick on the lame villains, but honestly, I do not like Carnage whatsoever. I have never liked Carnage. I have never understood that character's appeal. It is a one-note character, but he whatever. It's hey, what do I know? He sells. I mean, and that's the name of the game. That's the name of the
Josh says
game.
everybody's swelling with pride that we saw all say Norman. Real quick, Mike says typeface. Watch the Paul Jenkins interview I did. He meant for typeface to be a joke, and people took it as serious. And if you read the story as Paul writing it as the guy's a joke, it takes a new meaning. I honestly thought he was trying to go for a legit villain, which is funny.
Did
That sounds like what Mike's
did somebody
doing.
else rewrite that though to make it try to be serious or no? I mean, I don't remember.
I think the only people that really messed with typeface was Jenkins. I don't think anybody touched it since. Let's see. Final thoughts. Oh, here I get you real quick. What do you think after Spencer's run ends? Will it be remembered? Will it be a good run to look back on, everybody? I think so.
Yeah, I think
It'll
so.
be
I think
remembered
so.
as salvaging the series after Slot left.
Yep.
Yeah, I think he did damage control from 10
Yeah.
years worth of harm. So I think I just wish he could step into his own where he isn't always trying to fix things.
Well,
So-
I think, however, this Kindred thing and whether or not they really address One More Day, I think will be critical. I mean,
Yes.
I think if he fixes One More Day, to some degree, I think it'll be looked upon very favorably.
Yeah. There was a question earlier that asked who would replace Spencer. I'm loving Al Ewing on Hulk, so bring him over to Spider-Man. Let's see what he does to my number 1 character because he's killing it on Hulk. Love that. All right, final thoughts, JR. What's your final thoughts on this episode?
Unfortunately, folks, ASM 850 was a major disappointment. Major disappointment.
Yeah, Kelly, final thoughts.
I am cautiously intrigued by what's going on Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, no doubt. I am too. Chi-Town, final thoughts, sir.
I liked A850. The story, the 3 stories didn't feel like they needed to be there. And keep your eye on the Crawlspace because we have a special Bass Play episode coming up, but that'll be revealed at a later date. But keep your eye on it.
That is coming up after the other special episode I got coming up next weekend, where I'm interviewing the Guinness Book World Record holder of Spider-Man memorabilia. And I also have my buddy Marvin, who has a huge collection also. So these guys are going to take their cell phones and they're going to walk around their collection and they're going to show off these massive Spider-Man collections. So that'll be a fun episode next weekend on Saturday. Yep. So tune into that. We've got final thoughts with Ashley. Final thoughts. What do you got?
I can only hope that I can find something nearly as impressive to put on my resume one day as Spider Bulge. That is my quest. That is my white whale.
Yeah, it probably paid pretty good. That job probably paid pretty good, I would hope. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I hope you had fun. JR and George and I will be back tomorrow night. We're recording 2 Fight Clubs. We're recording 2 Spider Histories, including Spider-Man, the final chapter, ending Volume 1 of Amazing Spider-Man. And that is a controversial Goblin story, JR. And you're gonna dissect it and examine it and bring your pumpkins back.
That's true. I still have my pumpkins.
Please bring them Saturday night.
For the whole month of October.
Yeah, the whole month of October. Also, we'll be back in November for our yearly Spider Jeopardy. George is writing questions. So that will be fun also. So we got a lot of fun shows coming up, everybody.
Do we know when in November that is?
We should probably plan that out. I don't.
Okay, because I might or might not be here, depending on when in November it is.
Oh, when's your due date?
26th, Thanksgiving Day.
Oh, wow.
Is that one of the questions on George's quiz?
So are you recommending we do it early November? Like the first weekend?
We'll see.
Okay.
Yeah, it all depends.
Okay, well, that would be something. During Spider Jeopardy, she gives birth. There you get your wish, JR. We don't want
that. I am going to a hospital.
Yes. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching. I hope you had fun. We did. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow night starting at what time? 7 o'clock with JR and myself and George. All right. See you guys. All right.